Alright, so you're basically working behind the scenes, learning all that stuff that we all wish we knew how to do but don't, and then rely on people like you to do. Let's be real. Figuring out how to make bags,
Yeah.
that side of it, and then like coming up with the. Well, I guess if you like drawing, the graphics is fun, but if you don't like drawing, like I do not, graphics is not fun to create. So appreciate those people too. So you'd be like really holding down those rules and like learning a lot of valuable stuff for a very long time is what I'm understanding throughout. I don't know. It sounds like a
Mhm.
good decade of this across the maniacs and everything else.
At that point, it was a decade, a decade strong.
And then, so yeah, what kind of happens next with that situation?
So what happens next? Actually, this is probably my lowest point, my lowest point in my life. Actually, I on tour. I can't really say everything because this is again. I would rather my brother tell his part of the story because it's mostly his. But let's just say things didn't work out on the tour fully, where we found out our manager or my brother's manager really, but he helped me too, was a con artist. So he was able to con his way into everybody basically, even con Jay Z. To be honest with you, um, we found out he was no good, and he was taking money from us. He was taking money from other people, and he was only using enough money to get us from point A to point B, and then pocketing the rest or whatever it was, or saying he didn't have money when he did, to get stuff done that we were supposed to. Basically, he stole probably $500,000 of my estimate, with resources and actual money. Can't prove everything, but it is what it is. And ended up basically coming home a little bitter. And I actually quit my advertising job to go on this tour. And the thing was, I was supposed to get rehired when I came back, so they wouldn't let me take a leave of absence. And they, while I was gone in a few months, they had a new change of finance officers at that company, and basically the new finance guy saw in the books that I quit, even though it was a special deal I worked out. He wouldn't let them rehire me. So basically, I was came home to a stack of bills. I didn't have the money to
No
basically
job.
pay my bills after that tour because I didn't get my money because the manager basically stole the shit. Um, no job, and I had a living girlfriend at the time who I ended up marrying later on. But basically, it was rough, put it that way. And I got into a real depressed state, and I didn't have the inspiration to rap anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because my job traditionally was my finance for the music, and I didn't make a lot of money from the music. I made some, but it wasn't enough to support me. At the
Right.
time. So I basically went into like a downward spiral, and I got into real life for a while. Basically, I want to say I learned web development. I already kind of had a basis of it. I knew HTML already, but I got really into it. I ended up building over a span of 3 years 48 websites. I got into that, and then my now ex-wife uh, told me basically I should get a degree while I'm taking this time doing what I'm trying to figure out things. Um, Go back to school. So I went back to school, went back to Middlesex County College again, and I got a couple courses in graphic design, and I already know it, so it's not like it's like hard work for me. But in the curriculum, I learned photography. Now, not even realizing it, for 10 years prior to that, I had a friend named Dalton, rest in peace. He used to teach me things in the photography studio at work all the time. And I never cared or paid attention. In fact, the picture right here on the screen right now, he took that picture
Mm.
in that studio I'm talking about. That's kind of funny. But basically, he basically was showing me how to do product placement for L'Oreal, Black and Decker. We used to shoot. I'm not supposed to say this, but we would shoot Nikon ads with Canon cameras. So he showed me like all the things, and back then I was just like, whatever, this guy's just talking, blah, blah, blah. I would have taken it in. But when I took one course in photography, I realized, like, holy crap, I'm actually good at this. So I immediately ran out and I got a job. That's the first thing I did. I ran out and I got a job as a school photographer. It was the quickest job that hired me. I took it. It was like $100 a day or something like that. Whatever. It was nice to have that. Plus doing websites. It was cool. So I learned photography a lot, and I got really into it. And with that happening, within a year, the owner of the company basically called me and said, "Hey, my photography lab guy quit. You want to come work in the lab?" He had no idea that I had such a advertising graphic background. So I came in there and I immediately took over his studio. And within a few months, he tells me he's leaving. Like he's basically going to have to find another job. He said, or I can give you the company and you can take over. So at that time, the company was worth about 1.5 million. They're in business a year. Um, what was I gonna do? Lose my job or take it over? Who wouldn't take that opportunity? So of course, me and my other coworkers, we took over the company. So I ended up owning a graduation product company, and not just any company. It's the only company that's a one-stop shop in the country still to this day. So one stop, excuse me, it was called Premium Marketing Group at the time, and Premium Marketing Group did all the graduation products, cap and gowns, yearbook, school photography, you name it, anything, sashes, tassels, anything like that. We would take care of it and do all the schools in the local area, all through New York, all through Jersey, PA, and whoever else called. So I ended up taking that over some time, and in that process, I learned how to do apparel for schools. So doing apparel for schools, um, obviously it's a different thing because it's so specific. Everybody uses like the same colors. Most schools are like royal white or gold and black. School gold is like Steelers gold, and you pay pretty much in that same realm. But then I started learning how to design specifically for like t-shirts and the functionality of apparel, and then I learned how to purchase it. I learned how different formats of how to print like vinyl, and I learned all different kind of ways, and it became this whole thing to the point where I got more into the apparel than the actual graduation stuff. So needless to say, I basically, through a bunch of drama and turmoil, I had to call my aunt in basically, and she bought me out for like 300 grand, and now she owns that company and named it One Stop Grad. So she's taken over that whole thing, and now I just handle the apparel part of that situation. So that's kind of how I got into the merch. So I basically learned from an old Egyptian guy who's actually a funny guy. I didn't want to talk too much about him, but he's hilarious. He used to kind of like say things like the literal meaning of words. Like he would call you stupid, but he just wanted to tell you like, "Hey, you're being ignorant." So he had a certain way of saying things, but it would come off really like brutal. You're like, "Hey, stupid, you did this wrong. Don't do that again."
My
You're like,
kind of
"Whoa, who are you
guy.
talking to?"
Mm.
My kind of
So yeah,
guy.
he's your kind of guy until he says, "Hey, slave boy, come with me." You're like, "What?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know.
He's like, "That's a little rough."
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
he pushed you in a
old
different way
school.
because if he wasn't like that, I probably wouldn't have learned it because
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want him talking to me like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm either beat him up or quit. So I gotta learn the stuff or beat him up or quit. This is one of the only options. So
I'm
so
glad
that's
that
kind
you
of how I
have
got
the
into it. He
the
kind of
get
forced
better
me into it.
option. That's amazing. So you get
Yeah,
better,
I
and
mean,
now
I
you've
argue with him.
and that led to you having now your own merchandising situation where you can design your own clothes and do whatever with that.
Yeah, definitely. So, because of my advertising background, I was able to basically transition into the apparel part seamlessly. Like I was able to. I already knew the programs. Essentially, I just had to learn how the inks work. And how to get stuff printed on shirts. And basically, half the battle is sourcing the materials. And once you know how to get, blank merch in general, it kind of like falls in place after that with just like the machinery and things like that. So
Right. So is that Rosebud? That's what that is, or when does that come into it?
oh well, Rosebud is actually my brand, my personal brand. That's actually has something to do with my daughter. Actually, my youngest daughter, Rose, Mia Rose is her name. She came about in a very troubling situation, which I can't obviously talk about, but she came about in a very harsh environment, and I feel like she doesn't get the appreciation on all sides of my family that she deserves, and to not go underappreciated. One of the things me and my ex came out with was basically Rosebud. My goal is for Rosebud to eventually, um, basically support her life when she gets older. That's kind of the seed of it. So I know for a fact that I'm gonna have Rosebud, pay for her college when she gets of that age, and hopefully even bigger. So that's kind of the dream and the goal, and Rosebud has that kind of message behind it. So it's the one's love for oneself, basically, a rose in the concrete. So Rosebud.
That's what marketing sounds like, though. That's like a
Hmm?
whole story. I'm invested in the brand. I'm like damn near like, where's the checkout page?
Oh, it's Rosebud.shop for anybody who wants to check it out. We have tons of stuff, and if you hit me at the Instagram page, which is right here on the screen, I can do custom pieces for you too because we're still a small brand, and it's basically just me running it. So you know we do
And
it.
how long? And so you've been doing that since like since you got into the merchandising, or
Rosebud really started in 2018.
okay,
However, it was established in 2017, and what I mean by that is the birth of my daughter, Mia Rose. She was born July 3rd, so I feel like it was established when
When
she
she
was
was
born.
born. Makes sense.
Right.
so so throughout the 2010s, then you're basically learning all about making clothes and whatnot. You already had the marketing background. You're able
hmm
to, and you said you're doing photography at the same time. So,
Yep.
so you,
Photography at the same time.
it's like a whole lot of things. Are you still rapping though?
Well, when my big brother Vice passed, it was in a whirlwind of stuff going on. I had broken up with my youngest daughter, his mother, basically, and I was kind of like in a situation where I didn't have any place to go. My money wasn't right. Things were all messed up. I was basically now in a quarantine at my ex's house with her mother and my daughter, and it was a whole like drama, and I didn't really know what was going on, and I was trying to start digging myself out. And then when this whole thing happened, where we all ended up on Zoom, it made me realize I need to focus more on the merch. Really just do focus on merch and printing people um, products, basically. So obviously during COVID, most people were like at home and bored. Me, I ended up working 3 times as much. Some people remember seeing me on Zoom. You guys want to know, but I would always be showing everybody that I'm going to the warehouse. I'm working on things, and I actually blew up during the quarantine big. Like I more than quadrupled what I was making in like the first like 3 or 4 months of quarantine there, and everything kind of just evolved into kind of like literally the last 3 weeks I've done probably I don't know 1,700 different apparel pieces between my aunt because she already has built-in business with the schools still. So I have all these schools in Newark, New Jersey, New York, and PA. And then I also have other customers from my friends. Obviously, I know a lot of famous rapper type friends. They all come to me now. And notable, you should check out Homeboy Sandman's merch on his Bandcamp. I'm doing that. We have a few new pieces dropping for that. I also do some stuff for EO Dub, which is dropping in May, which is going to be fire. And Yeah, it's a whole lot. I could keep naming, but I'm not going to do that.
Did the Littyyy
But
Bros T-shirts for Volume 2.
I, I I did the Littyyy Bros t-shirts. That's right.
I got
I
told
made
those
the
were
Four City Brewery.
real soft shirts that were sourced with good material, is how it was described.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not giving you a Gildan unless you want a Gildan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I mean,
Goddamn Gildans.
yeah, I went into
Hate
the
them
world
shits.
of like, okay, I need to make merch. That's the phase I'm at. Holy shit, is there a lot of brands? Like, I don't know, it's like
Yeah,
it's super
yeah.
overwhelming to like look at. I do know Gildan is basic and it's
It's a lot.
almost like a joke at this point. So I learned that.
Okay, all right, hold on. I'm gonna clear it up. Don't We can't totally tarnish Gildan. Gildan does make quality shirts too, right? The thing is, they have the most tiers of shirts. So like, they have like this little rough, tattered little thing that they have. I think it's like the Gildan 200, right? The Gildan 200 is like, I don't know, cheap. Let's put it that way. Somebody would probably sell you one with a print on it for $5 because the shirt is so cheap. And then you can go up the next level. I think it's like the 400 or something like that. I don't know all the numbers, but there's another tier. So the next tier is a little tougher. It washes, holds better. It's not as thin. And then you can go all the way up to like a soft style. Gildan's soft style is actually
Yeah,
nice. And
the
then he
soft
starts.
style is the best one, but you can also get
It's not, but it's up there. They also have Gildan Hammer, which like say they have like a Gildan sort of looks like this. The Gildan Hammers are so nice. I actually print Rosebud sweatshirts on that. Not this one, but I do have a higher quality version. And those people put that on. They're like, "What is this?" And it
Gildan.
because it has a Rosebud tag in it, they don't know what it is, but it's actually a
It's a
Gildan, and it's
Gildan.
amazing. So
This
they
is
have
super
levels,
nifty.
man, and then they have a hoodie, right? That's literally like it feels like butter. It's so nice. It has no drawstring, and the hood has like elastic in it, and it hangs off your shoulders, nice and perfect. So everybody freaks out right away, like, "Oh, where's my string? I need my string!" And then they put it on, and they call me like, "Yo, this Gildan, wow, this is nice. This is my favorite hoodie." I said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna steer you wrong."
Man,
So it's all perception and what you're really trying to do, man. Like if you want to have a brand that has something that people want to wear in general and feel comfortable, I will help you find that.
This is the
If you
man's
just want
business.
somebody if you're a rapper, you just want to promote your name real quick,
nah,
I'll give you
yo, it's
something
more
else
than that,
because it
right?
doesn't
Because
matter.
it's not even about like myself. Even I thought about it like this. This company gave me a shirt, like just random, like some software shit. It came in one of those gift boxes that companies send out with shirts that are kind.
Hmm.
Bro, this is the softest shit ever after I put it through laundry hell for like years. And I thought to myself, this is the only shirt I have that is like this nice. 2 years later, wearing it, I hate the color. I don't even like the shirt, but it's such a good shirt. And then I'm like, nah, I want that effect, right? Like, it's more
Yeah.
like if you want people to come to your shit, you like, cause when you buy the cheap shit, right? Like, I bought like a hoodie because I thought the color was, bro, it was deaded within like months, right? Like, you can't really be relying on that. And I don't want people to wear my merch and not be able to rock that shit in 7 years. Not because otherwise, what's the
Hmm.
point? This is like long-term branding investments, right? So I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
shirts don't last forever, but
Well,
and obviously, I don't want to like charge the most ridiculous prices because I'm not Kanye West and I'm not trying to go down that path. But like that level of retention where it's like affordable, but like mad comfortable, proper after 2 years, let's say that's the sweet spot, which I don't know how to find because like
Well, what you want to do is whatever that shirt is, you want to look at the tags and you want to see the breakdown of what the materials are, and you start
Hmm.
there. You see the breakdown of materials, and then you start searching the internet for those materials and see if you can find anything similar, and you start there, and that's how you start learning what you like. You know what I'm saying? So
even
once you
that.
get that thought, you kind of narrow it down. So I'm telling you, when you see it with the breakdown of the shirt, you're gonna say okay, and then it becomes who's printing it for you. What are they doing to get what I want on it? So then it's like, are you doing vinyl? Are you doing water-based ink? Are you doing plastisol ink? Are you doing direct to garment? Are you doing, you could do so many different ways. You can literally do screen printing on wax paper essentially
Direct to
and heat press
garment.
that on. Well, now instead of direct to garment, people are doing DTF, which is direct to film. So what I
Matter of
started doing
fact,
is I trans
what did you do for us for the
Bro,
Littyyy
I don't
Bro?
even.
I
What?
did
You're like.
DTG for Littyyy
I don't even
Bros.
know what direct to
Yeah,
garment is. That
DTG.
better? I don't know if that's
Direct to
better.
garment is just it's like an $18,000 printer roughly. It prints ink, and the inks. I can tell you to replace my white ink alone is $480. So it's like it's not cheap. It it's hard to keep up with. You have to run it every day. It uses the white ink to clean hoses, so it wastes the ink on top of it. So if you don't use it properly and often, it's a money sucker.
But
So
does this
I
like
like to
have a
keep it
better
moving.
result than like? Because everybody I know, like in real life, that does mink or sorry, that does merchant anyway has the vinyl shit. So that's all I ever hear about. Or the screen presses. I don't know if that's a vinyl thing. But these
Hmm.
are the words I hear. Ain't nobody using words like direct to fabric or whatever. I never heard that before. Like, is that better? Does that like last longer?
Okay, so a lot of times printing is relative to how you take care of it. So like if you don't know, don't use fabric softener. You know, fabric softener breaks down even screen print ink in the shirt. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know how to take care of it. That's what your printer should be
Yeah,
telling you, really.
that's where you're.
So
That's where you're. Hmm.
what I do, and I personally do this, I would take the most expensive hoodie, throw one of your designs on it, right? And I'll wear it. I'll wash it 20, 30 times, and I'll beat it up on purpose just to make sure that I gave you a quality thing and that I'm selling you something that is on point. I do it all the time. I take people's stuff. I get a new formula. I take it. I print it myself for myself, and I beat it up. And I learn how to take care of it so that I can now pass the knowledge over and the value to everybody who I'm selling to. And that's important. And most printers do not care.
Bro,
They
The
I
most
never.
important
next
thing.
job, 50 shirts done.
The most important thing, folks, to remember with all these shirts and stuff like that is like wash it, don't dry it. Like just hang dry, air dry.
Bro, I
That'll
didn't even know
usually
that.
save your. That'll usually save your shirt, like, and make its life
So
last a lot longer, and it won't shrink on you as much. And